Good morning. Good morning, good people. So last night, God gave me this word, and I know I have to share it. So the word was simple. The word was, God is so simple. He said, He is so simple, and we make things to be too complicated. Simple and plain. How I can translate that, or how I can just looking back on my own life, right? And applying that. God is like, I make everything so simple. I give you guys my word, the Bible, and I tell you, you can, everything is in my word. Everything is in the Bible. Come to me, the Father. He said, but we still complicate things in so many ways I don't even know how to put this. We just complicate things in so many ways to make it feel like it is so hard to trust God. It is so hard to believe God. It is so hard to receive from God. It is so hard to be in the presence of God when it is hard to do everything else but to trust God. And he said, we complicate it. And I started thinking about my life, and I thought about all the psychological training the world has placed in our minds that make us to complicate things. So this morning I wrote some down. Like the world tells us, if it doesn't make sense, then it's not right, right? Or you can trust what you can't see, or go with your feelings, right? Or to succeed, you must have a plan. But God's word is so simple that the world makes us stress about so many things that God says, give to me. Just give it to me. Because he says, if you apply these in my word, like Proverbs already says, the wisdom of the world is foolish. But only God, you can receive true wisdom and understanding, right? And God wants us, it's like he wants us to treat the Bible as a life source. It's like your free therapy. Your free therapy space is so priceless. The Bible is. It has all the gems to life that he's given us. He's given us himself. But he was like, you want all the gems in a book for you to see? This is it right here. My word, my Bible. And what the world has trained us to believe, you do not have to believe anymore, right? Like I was writing some stuff down, and I was just like thinking, about my life, like things I've gone through, like how God already knew us before we were born. Like he formed us in our mother's womb. He knew our entire story. So it is so simple for him. We can just like trust and rely on him and understand that it is so simple with him than trying to complicate it. He tells us, I will give you enough for each day. But our minds still make us worry for tomorrow. Like if you don't know what's in front of you tomorrow, you have to stress, you have to worry. When God is like, do not worry about tomorrow, tomorrow worry about itself. It is that simple. He's like, in our weakness, he makes us strong. But when we go through trials and tribulations, when we go through situations and we're weak, when we can't understand it, we complicate it, making it feel like it's the end of the world, when we can literally just sit in God and go to God and just read his word, and his word tells us, in your weakness, I make you strong. He tells us you're going to go through afflictions, but in your weakness, I will make you strong. It is that simple. But we complicate it and let our emotions, let our thoughts drive us. We let our thoughts drive us so much that God said, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge me, and I will direct your path. It is that simple. He tells us, do not lean on your own wisdom. Do not lean on your own understanding. It is that simple. Just trust me. He tells us, live by faith and not by sight. Because when you start living by sight, you're living on your own understanding. when we don't even know what's ahead, where we can see something, it is nothing at all. I remember how many times God is like, what you think or what you see is not even it. It is that simple. But the world has taught us for our emotions to just like take over and drive us, even if you're not showing it, it's in there, and then you react from it. Whether you react on pride or whether you react on anger, you react from it when God is like, no, let go. Just lean on me. Just trust me. It is that simple. But we let the world to hold us back, man. And he tells us, do not be anxious for anything. But in all things with prayer and supplication, give your request to me. But we cannot let go. We strive to be anxious. We let fear take over. And then our thoughts, in that anxious moments, our thoughts just run and fear just takes over. And God already tells you fear is not from the Lord, it's from the enemy. He tells you not to be anxious for everything, but just go to him with prayer and supplication and just be still in him. It is that simple. But again, you understand, we have to let go of what the world has psychologically taught us, what society has planted in our minds. And we literally just have to come to God and say, Lord, I do not understand. But I know with you, even in the difficult times, if I can be still and trust you, I know it is that simple because your word says, go to him with his word. He loves that. Your word says, in my weakness, you make me strong. Your word says you will never leave me nor forsake me. It is that simple because if he tells you he will never leave you nor forsake you, you have to trust him. He is God. He's a man of his. He's not even man. He is God. His word is yes and amen. His word never lies. His word never lies. He says, just as rain comes down, and water the plants, water the soil, and they bear fruits. That is my word. I send it down. It doesn't go back to me void. It is that simple, yo. The God who created you, the God who created me, he knows me so well. He knows my tomorrow. He knew my beginning from my end. I do not even know what the next second or the next minute, what am I even going to say within the next few seconds or minutes? I don't know, but he knows. It's that simple. And all he's telling us, if you want it to be that simple, if you want peace, trust me. Because he says, I know the plans I have for you is to prosper you and not to harm you. It is that simple. His words are saying it all, but we cannot trust it because we can't see it, because that's what society has taught us. That's what everybody around us who doesn't have a relationship with God, or who are so scared in their relationship with God. But he's telling us, I know the plans I have for you is to prosper you. It's that simple, and not to harm you. He tells us, for what I have for you is more than you can ask, think, or imagine. When I think about that, I'm just like, God. Like literally, God would say, God's told me, let go of something, right? And then it took me a while. And then when I finally let go, I started mourning that thing. And God said, why are you mourning what I told you to let go of? When it is so simple, as my word said, what I have for you is more than you can think, ask, or imagine. So why don't you just rejoice? Because what I have for you is greater than you can think, ask, or imagine. It's far beyond your thoughts and your expectations and your wants. Just praise me. Praise me for what you went through. Praise me for what I just let you let go of. Just praise me for that. That I told you to let go of that, meaning it is far greater than what you can think, ask, or imagine. It's just that simple. But our flesh tells us no, you have to figure it out. And our flesh is lying to us. Our mind is lying to us, and the world is lying to us. And we choose to believe those lies than to trust God. When God is saying it is just so simple. All I want you to do is obey me. All I want you to do is trust me. All I want you to do is what I say. All I want you to do is go to my word for these gems, for what you need. All I want you to do is come to me and be still. I remember moments where I was like, I was telling God, God, I'm mad at you. I think I'm mad at you. I'm mad at myself. I think I'm mad at you because of the things I thought you told me. And God was like, you were applying it according to your own knowledge. You were applying it according to your own knowledge. Did you really seek me? I was like, God, I was seeking you. You know what? You were talking to me. I was seeking you. But God said, you were still applying to your own knowledge. You were holding offense when I tell you, just let go and trust me and leave it in my hands and just let go of it and just praise me, right? Just let go and just praise me and just worship me and just thank me. For it is what if what I said is what I said, it surely shall come to pass how I need it to pass according to my will. That's how simple it is. And what I said, if what I said is what I said, also I said to love without offense, to love like how I love, to forgive, to let go, love like how I love. Because among all, love is number one. Obey me, obey my commandments. If I tell you to love like me and you cannot love like me, are you truly obeying me? If I tell you to let go, you cannot let go. Are you truly obeying me? It is that simple. If you can just do what I say, it is that simple. It's so crazy. And people say it's not that simple because you still go through afflictions. You still go through this. But God said, yes, it is simple because I never said you won't go through afflictions. Like Paul said, he said, I can do anything through God. And we usually run with this to say in sports, oh, I can do anything through God. I can win. But I was thinking, I was like, what if everybody at the line is saying, I can do anything through God, thinking they're going to win? Not everybody's going to win. Well, Paul is saying, like, through every season, I can make it through because of God. Through my afflictions, I can make it through because of God. Because in my weakness, as God said, he makes me strong. That's what makes it so simple. Man, if we just sit, if we just sit in God and understand how it's so simple, and just obey and just love like him. I know sometimes loving people is not that easy. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's hard, but I've learned to just pray over those people that is hard to love. Pray with love. Pray for prosperity. Pray for blessings. Pray for breakthroughs for them. Just pray with love for them as if you're praying with someone, the person you love the most. Pray for them like how you pray for that person. That's what takes away those pains. That's what makes you sit with God, right? Sometimes people say, I pray to God, but I didn't hear him. I've learned when you don't hear God, it's because he's right next to you. I was watching something that says, if God is right next to you, what make you think he's going to scream? Because somebody who's right next to you, they don't have to scream for you to hear them. They look at you like, hey, I'm right here. Why are you screaming? So God is right next to me. Sometimes the test is just to be still so God can train you and discipline you through that process to trust him, to believe his word that says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I am right here with you. That's how simple it is. Don't be anxious. I am right here with you. I got you. Do you trust me? Do you believe me? That's what it is. So I encourage anyone. I encourage everyone. Anyone this message is for. I encourage myself to begin to understand how it is so simple. God is so simple. No matter the situation, we just have to build the discipline. Just like any athlete running a race, they build discipline in it. And we have to build the discipline to trust God, to surrender, to love like God, to obey, because among all, we have to love and obey his commandments to be able to understand how simple it is for us to be able to hear him. We have to let go of the foolishness the world tells us and let in, receive the wisdom and understanding of God, to understand and receive how simple It is in God. So I encourage anyone right now who thinks it is so hard I can't do it. I used to be the person who thought I had to do 1,000 things. I had to fast this way, do this, do that. And I started finding God is going to lead you in what to do. When you start realizing, when you start surrendering, when you start obeying, when you start being still, when you start just giving up that flesh, sacrificing that flesh, not listening to the world. When man says A, but God says B, and even if B doesn't make sense, you run to B because God said B. To be able to understand, it is that simple. And I'm still learning. I am still learning day by day that with God, it is that simple. And I want it to be that simple because I don't want to run with my thoughts. I don't want to run with my emotions. I want to run with what God says and be able to sit and trust Him, even when I can't see Him, even when I don't hear Him, because I know He's working. He's working on my behalf because I know the promises He has for me is to prosper me and not to harm me. And I know His plans for me and what He has for me is far more than I can think, ask, or imagine. And I know He will never leave me nor forsake me. And I know I do not have to be anxious for not one thing. But in all things, I can go to Him with praise, worship, and prayer because He already has it figured out. He had it figured out before it even happened. And I know He is training me in Him to be able to teach my generations, to be able to intercede for others, intercede for my generations. He is training me in Him. And I thank God for that. And I thank God for you today listening. And I pray that God just uses this word to touch you through whatever you are going through. In Jesus' name, amen.